China has been caught smuggling illegal devices about the size of a quarter, if that transform handguns into automatic weapons onto American streets. The Chinese government is covertly arming criminals in the U.S. as part of their plan to sow chaos in communities, to get us to surrender when they start to colonize us. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we've got a bombshell report accusing China of smuggling illegal gizmos called auto sear switches, or better known as Glock switches, into the U.S. that can turn regular handguns into machine guns. I'm not kidding. According to police in Louisiana, these tiny Glock switches are being shipped in from China and winding up in the hands of criminals on our streets. It's not like they are manufactured for some other purpose and they're being repurposed for this. These things are made to do what criminals in the U.S. are already using them to do.
The 7 News I-Team investigates these illegal devices, commonly known as Glock switches, that turn a handgun into a machine gun.
And it's surprising. It takes about $20 or a 3D printer. Senior investigative reporter Lisa Fletcher discovered these devices are creating terrifying terrain for police and communities all across America, including right here in D.C.
The authorities say they can easily convert handguns to rapid-fire death machines. We're talking serious firepower that can do serious damage. The question is, how are the Chinese getting away with this right under our noses? Well, in his new book, Investigator Peter Schweizer reveals that the Chinese Communist Party is intentionally flooding America with these illegal gadgets as part of their plan to destabilize and weaken us. That's right. Schweizer doesn't hold back, guys. He calls out American lawmakers for turning a blind eye while China wreaks havoc on our streets. Don't take my word for it. You can Google Glock switch and you'll see the articles come up, and they're from all over the country. And you won't believe how cheap these gadgets are, like $50. Can you imagine? It's like a bad joke, but unfortunately, it's all too real. A little over a year ago, I did a video titled Understanding China's Plan to Colonize the United States. They really do have a plan that when it's implemented, they will attempt to colonize parts of the USA. And they're counting on getting away with it. Think about it. Fentanyl coming in for the purpose of killing off Americans. And now these little gadgets that are causing all kinds of chaos across the country. These programs that the Chinese are using, they're doing them to try to get us to peacefully surrender to them. Trust me on this. You think to yourself, how the hell is this going on? And how are they going to make us surrender? Well, there's a lot more to their plans. I'll get to that in a minute. But in Schweizer's book, he says China's playing a devious game here and accuses our own leaders of turning a blind eye to it all. He claims they'd rather go after law-abiding gun owners than to shut down China's shady smuggling operation. Now, why do you think that is? Could it have something to do with all that Chinese money lining their pockets? Oh, it gets worse, guys. Schweitzer says this is all part of China's grand scheme called the Century of Humiliation to undermine America. Basically, the Chinese are unleashing chaos and violence on our streets using illegal weapons while incompetent nincompoop leaders like Biden and the members of the administration do absolutely nothing to stop it. Guys, this is why you do not let them steal elections. China's also allegedly planning psychological attacks to turn Americans against each other. Remember that AT&T outage recently? What if that wasn't just a technical glitch, but a test run for something far more sinister? Guys, we're dealing with a foreign enemy trying to colonize us by making life so unbearable we'll surrender. This is nuts. The bottom line is China's playing spy games with real consequences, and the Biden administration seems happy to let them get away with it. For God's sake, they let a Chinese spy balloon travel halfway across the damn country over military bases and nuclear silos before they shot it down. The damn thing was delivering raw data from cameras on board in a live feed back to Beijing. Either our leaders are directly in on it or they're so weak and incompetent they might as well be. Either way, it's starting to look like we're on our own here, guys. And now that this news is starting to come out, you can just bet that half the country's leftards on X will come out in favor of the incompetence at 1600 Pennsylvania Ave and call it all conspiracy theories. You can always count on the America Last Jacobins. So to sum it up, the Biden administration has a never-ending quest to take our guns from us, to send in the ATF into gun shops to shut them down for not crossing a T or dotting an I properly. Every time some crazy leftist goes out and does a mass shooting, these jackasses' first knee-jerk reaction is to take away all the guns from the law-abiding gun owners who never shot anyone. And now we find out that at the same exact time they are doing little to nothing to stop China from shipping these damn gadgets over here that strike fear in the heart of America, because when you hear a machine gun going off in your neighborhood, it's kind of unsettling, you know what I mean? But think about this. We found out recently that we've had 24 to 26,000 military-age young men from China who illegally crossed our border. What the hell are they doing coming across our border? Apparently 15,000 or so of them since October. Now, I happen to know that in China, you cannot get on a plane without the government's approval to come to the United States. And you can't expect military-age young men to be able to afford to travel here, because most military-age young men in China do not have $3,000 and more to put on plane tickets. And then when they get there, they got to get a place to live. Someone is funding them. And someone signed off on all these Chinese lads to come here. For what purpose? Now, do you remember during the St. George Floyd riots, we saw pallets of bricks appear out of nowhere on the streets for the rioters to use? Who funded that? Was it our government? Was it George Soros and the other America-hating billionaires like that on the left? Okay, now, think about this. 26,000 military-age Chinese men is an army. What if they concentrate on certain cities in the United States and suddenly pallets of handguns and thousands of these little gadgets just appear out of nowhere to arm them? Has anyone in our government even thought about that scenario? You need to call your members of Congress and tell them to get their asses in gear, that you want the administration to go after China and to stop them from sending these things to our country that end up killing Americans. All right, guys, smash that like button if you think China's up to no good, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Please share our videos with like-minded friends who want to stay informed with what's really going on. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.
Every day I'm looking for a way to return to the time when everything was easy to learn. Don't know when it started to get so serious.